Hello. What's up, ARMY lovers? We've been misjudging Jungkook all this time. Behind his smile, there's a burden of decades that we never imagined. That little boy hasn't been a kid since he was 15. That sentence came from one of Big Hit's, now HYB's, senior staff who had witnessed firsthand how Jungkook, a shy teenager from Busan, turned into the toughest figure the army may have ever known in its entirety. What happens if we say that? From the moment he first stepped foot in Seoul, Jungkook not only brought hope for his own dreams, but also the economic burden and hope of his entire family. That, behind a grand stage and millions of cheering fans, Jungkook has shouldered something that not many teenagers dare to carry. This is not just a story of successful idols. This is a story about sacrifice, about the loss of adolescence, about a boy who is forced to mature too soon for the sake of one thing: family. And the fact is surprising. Jungkook has started supporting his family since the age of 15. Not a single South Korean media outlet dared to expose this whole truth. Not a single major television station discussed it. But now, the veil is beginning to fall. This story was not written to worship. This story was written to sober up. That when many teenagers his age were still in school complaining about homework, Jungkook actually calculated the cost of renting his family's apartment. That while other teenagers were busy playing games and hanging out at cafes, Jungkook was preparing his 17th choreography in a day with bleeding knees, while enduring hunger, for the sake of being able to send money to his parents in Busan. Oh, you think the world of K-pop is all about glitter? Do you think Jungkook is just the golden magne that everyone loves? Then you don't know anything yet. This story is a dark story that is rarely talked about even by fellow BTS members. Because, for Jungkook, helping his family is not something to show off. It's a responsibility. It's love. And it's an old wound that not everyone deserves to know about. Until now, that on a cold night in Big Hit's old dorm, long before BTS was known to the world, a boy sat quietly on the wooden floor while holding back tears. He had just finished his fourth practice of the day. His training clothes were wet with sweat, but that was not what kept him silent. He had just received a call from his mother in Busan. "Jungkook, we're fine. Don't worry about us," her mother said on the other end of the phone. But Jungkook knew his mother was lying. There was a short pause before the voice on the other end began to vibrate. "But if you can, maybe send a little money for electricity. If you can, son, that's fine too. We get it." That night, Jungkook didn't eat. Not because there was no food, but because his stomach was already full of anxiety and guilt. He decided enough is enough. From that day on, he will work not only for his dream, but for his family. When he was only 15 years old, Jungkook officially became a trainee at Big Hit. But not many know that it does not come with a warm welcome or comfortable facilities. He came alone, from Busan, with a small suitcase and great fear. Seoul is too big for a 15-year-old. But Jungkook is no ordinary boy. Behind her innocent face, a steely mentality shaped by the family's stressful economic situation is hidden. His father had fallen into bankruptcy due to a small business that did not go according to plan. His mother, although always smiling when talking to him, kept the heavy burden of being the backbone of the family. Her brother tried to find a part-time job for the sake of helping. But they all know their only hope is in the youngest, the magne of the family, Jungkook. Jungkook's decision to become an idol was not purely a personal ambition. He had rejected several major agencies that offered contracts for one reason: they did not immediately promise a debut. Only Big Hit, a small company without a big name at that time, gave one thing: the hope that Jungkook could debut sooner. And for a teenager who urgently needs to support his family, timing is everything. That in 2013, BTS debuted with No More Dream. The song is like the irony of Jungkook's own life. When the other teenager is still dreaming, he just does not have time for it. Debuting alongside his 6 adopted siblings, Jungkook appeared as the Golden Magne, a nickname that later became legendary. But all that hard work is not just for the public to know. Every penny he made, every advertisement, every show, everything he sent to Busan. A staff member in the early years of BTS once witnessed the moment when Jungkook refused to buy new clothes even though his clothes were worn out. He simply said, I'd better send the money home. My mom needs that. Whenever the other members buy good food during training break, Jungkook often pretends to be full. In fact, the wallet is empty. All his pocket money has already been transferred for the needs of his family. No one knows, because Jungkook never wanted to be pitted. Even to Taehyung, his closest friend in the group, he never told the whole story. "I'm fine," he said, looking down in silence. One time, when the training was very heavy and her body was almost collapsing from exhaustion, the vocal coach advised her to take a 2-day break. But that very night, Jungkook settles back into the rehearsal room. When the coach asked why he came back so quickly, his answer left everyone speechless. "I can't fail. If I fail, my family won't eat." In 2015, when BTS began to climb slowly, then the situation began to change a little. The first full salary he received after the trainee debt repayment period was a moment he would never forget. Jungkook immediately booked a train ticket to Busan and returned home. But what he brought was not a suitcase, but a thick envelope of cash. He handed it to his mother with trembling hands and tears that could not be held back. "I know it's not much, but from now on, I'll help everyone." His mother could only cry and hug the boy who was no longer a child. The same Jungkook, who used to be afraid of the dark and could not sleep alone, has now become the backbone of the household. This story was never published by the agency, never used as promotional material, because Jungkook doesn't want to. For him, supporting a family is not an achievement that needs to be indulged. It is his responsibility, self-esteem, and deepest form of affection. But the people behind the scenes know it all. One of the now retired senior choreographers said in an anonymous interview, "He's the youngest kid, but also the toughest. He was the only one who never complained. Even during the injury, he said to me, 'Hyung, if I stop, who will help my family?' I couldn't say anything at the time. You can just sit down and cry." There is a reason why to this day, Jungkook still lives in a dorm, even though he can buy a house as big as a palace. Many fans are wondering why he does not occupy his private luxury apartment. But one answer circulated among insiders: because everything he had was given first to the family. His family home in Busan was completely renovated at Jungkook's expense. He even bought a car for his father and paid for all the treatment for his grandmother, who was very ill. Behind every seemingly glamorous achievement, like a Grammy appearance, a world tour, and millions of albums sold, there's a story of sacrifice we never imagined. And it all starts when a 15-year-old decides that his family is more important than himself. Now, at the age of 27, Jungkook has become a global icon. But despite all his fame, he remains the same magne, the boy who sends his entire salary home when his parents are in trouble. He remains the same Jungkook, only stronger, more mature, and more beloved to millions of people who are finally beginning to understand